Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to explore something very useful in Python, which is escape characters. Escape characters are special symbols you use inside strings to do things that you can normally do, like adding new lines, um, tabs, quotes, or even special actions like a beep sound. Then they are called escape characters because they can let you go beyond normal text and add hidden instructions inside your string. We create them by using backslash and followed by another um, character. So if you look at the table here, if you look at this table, we have different um, escape character for different purposes. Like the first one, you see backslash n that represents new line character. This new line character, if you look at the example here, hello world, if you wish to print hello and word in different lines, then the moment you introduce backslash and n in between them, the two words will be printed on a different line. Then if you look at this one, backslash t represent tab, horizontal space if you want to space something. Say for instance, if you are writing your name, if you are writing your name, you write name, then you have to introduce backslash t, then that the output will be this. We're going to demonstrate all this so that you can see how we how they are being applicable in our daily activities. Then if you look at this one, this is particular one is used for, say you want to print out a path to a file, and this is how to actually go about that. So let's get into the code editor and practice some of these things. So the first one that we're going to be looking at is new line character. Okay, new line character. So under the new line, say you want to print something on a different, you want your output to be printed on a different line, says like hello world. Okay, say hello world. Okay, something like this. If you have something like this, and we want them to be printed, uh, we want them to be printed on a different line. Like this now, if you print it as it is, everything will be printed in a single line, hello world. But if you introduce new line character in between the two, I'm just going to copy and paste that to save some time. Then here, all you need to do is just to introduce a backslash, then n. So backslash n simply means, hey Python, I want you to print this word in different lines. So if you print it now, you see that hello is in, they are in a different line. Can you see that? Then another important one is tab character. The tab character means backslash. It's like this one, new line character is represented by backslash n, that's new line character. Then the next one that we're going to look at is tab character. Okay, um, tab tab character. Okay, so with the tab is a backslash t. So what this does for you is just to space them, is to space something. Say for instance you have something like this name, you want to spell out your name. So what's your name? My name is John Smith. Okay, say your name is John Smith. So and you want to print them, you want them to be printed in, you want to print and you want to make sure that you have a space between here and here all you need to do is to introduce tab in between them. So say let's practicalize that. Say print. Since we are dealing with strings, remember you have to wrap them up. So name, okay, name. The next is what? John Smith, okay. So John Smith, if you print this now, it's going to print like a single letter word. You can demonstrate it and see the differences between them. Let's try it. Whatever. Before we introduce \t, what will happen if we space it? Will it print out normal? It's good to experiment sometimes. Can you see that? Okay, if you don't space it, what is if I don't want to space it, if I just introduce \t, what's going to happen? Look at that. Let's print it out. Can you see that? That's actually spaced it out for us. And this is the purpose of using backslash. Okay, \t. That's what it's going to do for us. So the next one is to look at this particular one, which is the backslash itself. So when you have it like this, when you have it like this, is to tell you that you are trying to print out a path to a particular file. So this next one is for backslash, backslash. Okay, so this is for the backslash. So what you're going to do here, say we want to print, okay, you see that it printed out a path to a particular folder. This is just a basic example to demonstrate that. So before we move forward, I want us to see the application of new line character and tab character. New line character is to make sure that those words are printed on a different line, and the tab is to make sure you space something to space them. So, and say for instance you are given an assignment, you can see this. If you want to write something in more than one line, say you have a very long word that exceed more than one line, you can use this. This is called doc string. You can use this. So when you have something more than one line, this is the best way to go about it. Okay. So here now I want us to demo. Say you have an assignment and your teacher wants you to make sure you print out the title of the course, the class name, a date, and semester. How are you gonna write this? How are you gonna write this in Python such that it printed out just like this? So it's just an application of using new line character and tab. And how does that work? The first thing is that you notice that this title has Python programming class. So you have to introduce a tab between the title and this. Then if you move to if you want Python to print the next into the next line, then you need a new line character that will separate this first one and the second one. So at the end of typing this out, you have to introduce new line character here, which is \n. Then you continue with this. Then when you get to this point here between the class and the data, in between them here, you're going to introduce a tab so that it's evenly spaced. Then the next thing apply. Since you are moving to the next line, you have to use \n. Say move date to new line. Then make sure you introduce tab between these two. Likewise, the same thing is applicable to this. So I want us to actually write that out and see how it's going to look like if we did print it out. So I'm just going to comment all this out so that we can see what we are actually doing. So the next one now is that we are doing an application. So this is basically application of new line character and tab. So print. The first thing we wanted is that let me close this out so that I can see clearly. Let me restart. So print, you go to our print function. Then since we are dealing with string, we have to wrap it up with a quote. So the first thing here is what? Title. So you're going to do the title. Okay. When we do the title, the next thing is that Python programming class, we need a space between them. So you have to introduce a backslash T, then you type it, Python programming. So, and at the end of this, we want the next thing to be printed on a new line. So we need a new line character. So which means at the end here, it's going to be backslash n. I want you to print this into a next line. So, and what do? You type your um, class. Then at the end of the class, at the end of the class, what do we have? We have data 101. Because we want it printed evenly out like this, you have to introduce a tab between them. Then you type data 101, and that's done. When we're done with that, the next one, date, we also want date to be printed on the next line. So what do? You introduce backslash n, okay, because that's a new line character. So then you type your date. So when we type the date, between these between this and this, you need to introduce a tab so that it's evenly spaced out. So what do we do next? Then we introduce another tab, uh, backslash T, put in the date, and the final one. So next, what we're going to do next is that we have semester. We want the semester too to be printed in a new line. So you need a new line character, and so on and so on till the end. Then let's print this. So when we print it, we can tell if it's evenly spaced out, and if not, you're going to reformat again. So let's run this and see what the output is going to look like. Okay, if you look at this, I want to remove all this. I don't want them to print out so that we can see what we are actually doing. Then you do that, then you come here, you space that, then let me rerun it again. The only thing I want it to run is this. So when we run it, you can see that 1, 2, 3, they are evenly spaced out except the semester, which is for 2025. So what are we going to do? So that's to tell us that we need one more tab so that everything can be evenly spaced out, so that everything can be aligned. So here now let's introduce another tab. Um, Come here. Here let's introduce another one, backslash T. That's how to know how many tabs you need. Until you print it out, then you can tell whether you need to do one more or not. This one, you don't need to do the one for semester anymore because it's already spaced out. So let's rerun it and see what the output will look like. Can you see now? Everything is properly aligned. And this is an application of what I wanted to teach you about uh, escape character. You can see that the same thing that you will write in Microsoft Word, which is easy, or when you actually write them down. It's easy to do all this, but in programming there are ways to do them. You just need to learn how to go about it. So this is all about this. Then let's move to the next concept, which I'm going to be explaining down here. So the next concept is to talk about when do you need um, backslash in your code, and when do you need it, when do you need to use a backslash, and when you do not need to use a backslash. Okay, you will understand what I mean in a minute. What I'm trying to explain is that there are instances whereby you want to print out something like this. Say it's sunny, okay, and you want to print out something like this. How will you be able to print something like this without using a backslash? So um, as we explained here, this is a note to how to go about that. but I'm going to be walking us through how to do it in the code editor so that you can. So you are using different code type: single inside, double, or double inside single. Let me explain that. When I explain it, you will understand better. As it is now, if you want Python to print out this statement for us with this apostrophe right here, if you want it to print it out for us without using a backslash, what is going to happen is that since you have single inside, in order to print everything like this, then you need to wrap it up with double quote. In that case, you don't need to use backslash. So let's print it. Print. So now it's sunny. Okay, so let's print it and see what it's going to print out. Can we see that? So I'm going to comment this out so that we can see the concept I'm trying to explain. So if you look at this now, it printed out, it's sunny. What about now? Say you don't want to use a double quote. If I say, okay, instead of using a double quote, I want to use a single quote. But when you use a single quote, if you don't introduce backslash into it, it's going to create an error. So let's print that and see what I'm talking about. It's sunny, right? Okay. Say I want to use a single quote. Okay. It's sunny. Okay. Okay. It's sunny. One moment, please. Um, so if you look at this now, say I remove this backslash. If you know what we used to say is that whenever you are dealing with strings, you can either use single quote or double quote. If you use either single or double quote, it work out fine. That situation is not applicable here. So in this situation, uh, if you want to use this, because you have one single quote inside, in order to print in order to print the statement out like this, you need to wrap it up with a double outside. Okay, but if you want to use the same quote, single inside, single outside, then in that case you need to use a backslash. So with a backslash, it's going to print out same result. Okay, can you see that? It's going to print out same result. But in a situation, if you have double inside, it means if you don't want to apply a backspace, if you don't want to use a backslash, then if you have double inside, and you don't want to use a backslash, the only way to prevent that is that you have to use single quote outside. So it's opposite of each other. So, and let me demonstrate that so that you can see it. This is the word that I would like to print. Let's print this word. Okay. She said hi. So let's say she said hi. I was just gonna go by she said hi. Okay, something like this. We want to print out this comfortably. So the only way to print out this comfortably is that to print it out comfortably, since we already have double inside, we have to use single outside. So with single outside, this is going to print. It's going to print easily. Okay. So if you run it now, it's going to run. So alternatively, to do this is that, say I decided I don't want to use single quotes at all. I don't want to use single quotes. So what do I do? That I want to use double double. If I desire for double double, what it means is that I have to introduce a backslash so that I can use double quote all along. I will use double quote. So, and the same principle is applicable. If if you have double quote inside, In order to print out the statement as it is, you have to use single outside. If you have double outside, you have to use single outside. I hope you can remember that. So let's try the last one. Print, since I want to use double double, print, then I would like to use double double. Okay. She said hi, right? She said, then here I also need another double. So she said hi. So in order to print this as it is now, because I want to use double all through, I want to use the same code, it means I have to introduce a backslash here, and I also need to introduce a backslash here. In this case, if I run it, it's going to print out correctly. Can we see it now? And this is how to go about it. For now, it's important that you practice just these three for now. As time goes on, you can train yourself on how to use the rest of the um, escape character, but these ones are very important, and I will already show you the application. So I also want you to try this on your own. If you need any help, you can leave me a comment, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next class.